whatever you can do to make it easier for those people to get to your workplace, that makes it more attractive for an employer to come in.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.
So you spoke with Dean Harris for the story. He's the current executive director, and he's mentioned that ridership is way up. Pretty much, I think he said like 29% or something in 2023.
Yeah, year over year, last year is up about 23% or 29%. On a month-to-month basis over the previous 16 months, well, previous to the end of last year, ridership is up between 20 and 40%.
Right.
Each month.
And this is all, I mean, some of this may be due to during the pandemic, they ceased collecting fares. So all of these are free now. But I guess, why are so many more people using the WRTA? Does he have any idea? Part of that, well, I mean, part of it obviously is that the number of, again, we've talked about the number of routes increasing. Right. That's part of it. Ridership obviously, becomes easier when you don't have to pay fares. Yeah, right. Yeah. And I think they're going to expand some routes even in 2024, pick up, I think, 2 additional Warren routes. Yeah, they got some grant funding to try and add Trumbull County service back in. Okay. And speaking of funding, it's I guess I always just assumed that they were funded by people paying to ride the bus, but not so. That's actually a very small portion of their funding. Could you explain kind of how that works? Yeah, when they were collecting fares, it was only about 4% actually. The vast majority of their funding, about 80%, was comes from the countywide sales tax. Mm-hmm. That Mahoning County voters put on to maintain the service. And they do make some money off of advertising, and they get, state and federal grants to help support what they do. And in your story, you also mentioned the return on investment for public transit and what some of the studies have found. I guess given what those studies found, and you could talk a little bit about that and what we know as far as how important transportation is for some people around here, when getting to a job or getting to amenities and stuff like that. I guess what do you see the WRTA? Where do you see it fitting in as far as its role in this community, and what role does it play? Well, one of the things that Dean mentioned when we were talking was when employers, when companies look at the area in terms of maybe expanding, setting up new operations here, they do ask if there's public transit. Let's face it, everyone is having trouble hiring people nowadays. You've heard every employer you've talked to has mentioned that too. Yeah. So as easy as you can make it for people, to get people who may not have access to regular, reliable transportation or personal transportation like a car, whatever you can do to make it easier for those people to get to your workplace, that makes it more attractive for an employer to come in. And, we tend to take it for granted, things like you and I, we can take a car, go to the grocery store, do our shopping for like a week or two. If you're depending on a bus, right, that you're making that trip probably a couple of times a week. And again, this is where, eliminating the fares comes in as help too.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.